Welcome to LCS Championships Live Hotline League here at the Kia stage at FanFest. So excited to have this event taking place courtesy of Kia. I'm joined right now, of course, by Cubby, my co-host. How's it going, Cubby?
Doing great, man. This is the first time I've been able to do this live, and honestly, I mean, it's wild. FanFest's been awesome so far, and really excited to sit down with these guys and more. Got some great guests today. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been so long since we've been able to do one of these, and I am really excited to be able to bring it back here, courtesy of Kia at FanFest. But let's go ahead and introduce our first set of guests today. Perhaps the most spicy pairing that we'll have so far. It's going to be none other than Steve from Team Liquid and PapaSmithy. Steve, how are you feeling ahead of today's match?
Thanks for having me on the show. This is awesome. I appreciate it. I'm actually feeling pretty good. They showed up a little bit in the first time and then a little bit more in the second time. And then our last match, went to game 5, but feel pretty good about today.
Yeah. All right. And PapaSmithy, yesterday you guys had an incredibly dominant performance against 100 Thieves. How's the team feeling going into today's match?
I definitely think they were.
Oh, here we go. It's coming back.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the boys are very confident. I think we've been building into the playoffs. I think a lot of people had us low on the radar after losing to C9 in the last regular season game, and I think adjusting our style, trying to get a picture of the meta. I think definitely we've adapted super well, and now it's about the hardest test you can get in North America, which is Team Liquid. So it's going to be a banger series.
Yeah. Really looking forward to seeing how things go down. If you guys both want to hide that. All right. Well, actually, Steve, were you here yesterday or is today your first day?
Today's my first day.
Okay. What do you think of the space?
I think it's phenomenal. I mean, this is gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
And everybody turned out. I think they sold something like 4K plus tickets for today, which is insane. League is very much alive, so that's awesome. Let's go.
Crowd likes that. Crowd likes that.
It makes me very happy just to see everybody here. I mean, it's incredible. We're an awesome venue. The only thing is the heat.
Okay, you were not here yesterday.
Oh,
Yesterday it was really bad. Everybody here that was here yesterday is like, this is
Nothing?
beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
New Jersey last year, a year ago, was probably the hottest I've had it when I was out in the parking lot,
Yes.
in the booths there. It's definitely more reasonable here, and I like the vibe inside. Like, I think this is a good venue choice for
Yeah.
the LCS.
What are both of your teams doing here at FanFest?
Yeah, so we decided to go a little bit different. I think there's a lot of activities out here. C9 had some, player signings and things yesterday. We decided to go the chill out kind of approach. You might notice we have this coconut in front of me. We have like a promotion where any purchase at the FlyQuest booth, you get a free coconut, and the refreshment is appreciated. I should have brought one for you, I think, Steve. But I think just relaxing and like letting people have a bit of a quiet moment before it gets crazy on the Rift, for sure.
Yeah. What's Team Liquid doing here?
So we have a fan booth that's down the stairs behind us, and we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got this ninja throwing archery thing where you're trying to get to the bullseye, and if you get that, you get prizes. We have jerseys. We also have a lottery to win a Bitcoin. So $60,000.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm going there after this.
You're gonna make us lose our audience right now. Come on.
Everybody just
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good. Thank
yeah.
you, Coinbase.
Pretty good. So for those who are here in person, I'm sorry, online folks, you would love to have you in chat, but today's the only day where people in person are the ones that are going to be able to get on the show. So the way this is going to work is Jordan, who's in the back, wave your hand, Jordan. So she has a bunch of note cards. You can go find her politely and not bumping any of the camera equipment, and write down your take. She also has some pens, and write down your name as well, please. Cubby's going to review those, and if he likes your take, he'll call you on stage by name. You'll come up, sit down next to all of us, and we'll have you on the show. So that's how that's going to go. Please don't ambush Jordan. She's in the back handing out those cards in the corner. Please go see her. Yeah, thanks everybody. Oh, you're sneaking away. I appreciate that. Okay. So we'll get those up. Jordan will bring those once she's collected enough of them. In the short term, Steve, I remember at the very beginning of the split, I think before the first match had been played, you said that Team Liquid was going to have an undefeated split. You ended up being correct on that. What gave you so much confidence that early on?
That is a really good question. the thing is that that's not something that I would typically say because it puts a lot of pressure on the team. Uh, and to go undefeated is something that I've actually never said before. So I'm doing a lot of build up here, but it was a lot of just how the team was playing in scrims. Something that I really value in players is when they are able to drop the ego in scrims and practice, meaning that like when they make a mistake, and let's say they do a dive wrong or something like that, after the game, they take a really constructive and positive attitude towards improving and figuring out why they did that. And for me, it felt like every one of the players after every scrim was just like racing to go and review the game to be like, the optimization was this, or you should have built this item instead of that item. And nobody was taking offense to the constructive criticism. And it just felt really fluid. It felt like, wow, this is a team that is going to grow so much together that I've never seen before. That sometimes there's always like one or two players that is kind of rubbing the wrong way in a review or has maybe a poor attitude or an ego or something like that. But this particular version of the team, I just felt like there was a lot of room for growth, and that's why I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been awesome to see what you guys have been able to put together this split, and I kind of want to ask both of you, like having teams that have been in finals weekend before. There's a nice little fan theory about whoever plays the first day has an advantage going into the second. At least like for Chris, first off, what was it like for you guys to get the 3-0 on stage yesterday, and like how do you feel like that's kind of helped the team propel them forward maybe today?
Yeah, I definitely think stage experience is underrated. The studio doesn't hold the same allure as a foreign venue, and by foreign I mean it's not the same chair, it's not the same monitor, distance away. You have to go through a different morning routine. You're probably a little bit earlier, a little bit later. I'm sure Steve knows people have it down to a science to make it to the Riot studio at the right time, like within a 2-minute kind of like tolerance based on traffic. All those new variables introduce variance. I actually think Team Liquid Game 1 is where they're going to be for sure the most susceptible because we had those 3 games on stage yesterday, because our last memory of sitting at that table was, achieving a goal, making it past Worlds play-ins into the main stage. I definitely think it's a real thing, and yeah, interested to see how it manifests in Game 1.
Yeah. Awesome. I see Jordan collecting those note cards. Looks like she should be up here in a second to pass those off to Cubby. So we should be getting into our audience questions here momentarily.
But I mean, coming back to the stuff that you were talking about in terms of the undefeated season, normally I'd want to be pedantic and talk about game score and about how it wasn't, a perfect season as it would have been in the past. But what I think Team Liquid have done is become a standard bearer for the LCS in a lot of ways in terms of how they approach scrims, in terms of the consistency on stage. Like, you have to remember that even if you're losing games, being the better team 2 out of 3 times on stage is still a series win in itself. And in scrims, they don't necessarily have the highest win rate per se, but I always feel like they're practicing something with intention rather than just scrimming to scrim. I mean, even the best teams in the past have felt a bit loose. I think Cloud9, even when they were like winning, 85, 90% of scrims, sometimes they were autopiloting. Sometimes you're like, why are they even playing this? Like, great, you're playing Rek'Sai, it's dominating scrims, but that's not going to work on stage. I never felt that vibe with TL on their good or bad days, and I think that's where the consistency should be complemented the most. I think that's probably the result of a strong coaching staff. So definitely shout out to Spawn, my compatriot, and the entire coaching staff out there.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very kind.
Well, Cubby, do we have our first guest?
We do. They didn't write down a name, but in very gamer terms, they wrote down their tag. So Horizon Casts, pop on up.
Yeah, you want to come on up?
Yeah.
So there's
Let's go Horizon.
There's a microphone underneath the couch right there. If anybody wants to grab that at your feet, you'll just need to reach down and grab it. Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, we'll get everybody situated. Welcome to the show, Horizon Cast.
Thank you.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Houston, Texas, as always.
Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Well, what do you want to talk about on the show today?
So I want to talk a little bit about legacy. So this is a question for both of you guys, and it's a little bit different for both of you because you're right, and the league has been different. So I'll start with Steve. So for you guys, y'all have had this sort of up-and-coming growth for the last several years where you were the team that couldn't break out of fourth, but then you reorganize, you bring all these amazing players, you'll have amazing dominance for so many years, and so now you're at the cusp of getting your sixth one. So for you as a team leader, and then also for an organization representative, what does it mean to get that sixth one? If you beat a team like FlyQuest today that has proven that they're really tough to beat, what does that mean for your legacy as an organization? And then also, where does that put you guys in this this conversation for greatest LCS organization of all time?
You know, Team Liquid as an organization is one of the, I think, oldest orgs. You know, we've been around for about 25 years. Legacy means a lot to us. Winning is the most important. You know, as in esports, especially when there was the boom in like 2016, 17, 18, a lot of organizations, they went in other directions. You know, they maybe became a content creation org, or they became a hat hoodie org, or you know, they whatever it might be. Team Liquid, we were esports. We were always esports. We were always about winning. Like that mattered most. And it wasn't just winning is important, but we actually believe there's an ROI associated with winning. We believe our business will be multi-generational if we continue to win. We'll continue to be relevant in whatever esports that might exist. We just got back from EWC where we took second. You know, we've been able to win not just in League of Legends, but across so many different titles. We've actually won more championships than any other org. We have the highest prize money of any org. We continue to be the most watched esports team in the world for almost 9 years in a row. So we need to continue that. And here in LCS, like we won the back-to-back championships, and then we had a drought, right? Like there was a period where we made a lot of missteps. Like I went back to my roots of, oh, let's just sign like the biggest names and put them together, and then it's gonna work out. And then, yeah, that just bombed with like Bjergsen, and oh, that was just kind of a horrific period. And you know what really changed was Spawn, and it was actually I remember you having a conversation with me saying. I was like, oh, I need to go and pick up a coach. And you were like, oh, there's this guy. He's in Australia. His name's Jake. He used to run an esports team. Highly recommend him. And I remember meeting Spawn for the first time. And I think that led to a lot of confidence in Academy. And then we started developing more in Academy. And then I just leaned in and said, Spawn, whatever you want to do, I will follow your lead. Take us to another championship. And he just promised me, he shook my hand, and he's like, we are going to do this. I promise you, I will give it everything I've got. And I believed in him. And then, boom, we won a championship. And hopefully we'll win another one today.
I love that answer so much because I think, Kelby, you and I are both such huge fans of Spawn and what
Yeah.
he's done. Yeah.
I mean, one of the core stories for me this weekend was seeing both Spawn and Golden Glue actually hit the stage, because Golden Glue also a coach that came from Academy Challengers, cut his teeth there, as PapaSmithy knows, 100 Thieves too. I think that both of them, I've seen them now with multiple groups of players still be able to actually have an identity with their teams. And I was talking with Golden Glue about it yesterday, and I know seeing each of them have their own flair but also find success in their way is really cool, and I think a mark of what is a good coach, because it shows that you can mold different groups of people. I mean, that's what better way to show that you're effective than to actually test it out multiple times. So that's really cool.
Horizon, I didn't know if you had any kind of follow-ups or anything you wanted to say.
Yeah.
It was just the follow-up for PapaSmithy. Sorry, PapaSmithy. And then obviously the same question for you, but in a different way. I mean, you've been on a number of teams, then but each team that you've gone to, they've developed more and more success. You've been an integral part of them reaching those higher heights. And now the same thing with FlyQuest, an organization that was sort of middling, but now that you've been part of them, they're a brand or a team that has way more recognition, way more following, people really excited about this team. And so for you guys, if you beat a team as good as TL, which is a hard ask on any day, what does that mean for your players? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for your org to say, hey, we're going into Worlds, we beat TL, and we're going to be feeling pretty good?
I think the short and easy answer is it means everything. I think for us, for FlyQuest, my 2 years that I've spent here, I think for a long time we've had this like disruptor org mentality of trying to break into the established kind of like North American royalty that of course Team Liquid is a central part of. And in this latter day stage of esports, it's difficult to change people's minds, to convert a fan from one team to another. How many TSM fans chose another team versus maybe League's not for me anymore as a vibe. So I think trying to strive for relevancy is tricky. Like you make missteps, you take big bets, they don't always pay off. Obviously last year we had a super team, much in the same vein of the 2022 Team Liquid lineup that didn't come together. That I felt a little bit of an outsider on. Like I came in very late in the off season. I didn't want to come in and be like a rhinoceros in a china shop. I didn't want to disrupt too much, and so went down the super team route. It didn't work, and so sitting there, I want to say like 25th of July with our year over was a pretty surreal thing for me because I think this is 6 out of 7 splits I've made it to finals weekend, and that was obviously the last split that I didn't was last year in summer, and trying to find a direction and building around a rookie player like Masu was obviously like the opposite of looking for the biggest available free agent in the off season and bringing in a group of young players. I think we have the youngest, we were the youngest team at MSI or close to that. I think at Worlds would be pretty much the same, but of course experience. Like it's surreal that Inspired's 22 years old when he's played so many splits in a row and achieved so much. And I think for the players, only Inspired has an LCS title and the other 4 are still aspiring. And I want to say it's all or nothing today, but I think that would betray kind of the foundation of building from the roots, from getting everything together, from coming into the final. And I think all the players will confidently feel like they should win today. They felt that way in Split 1, and Team Liquid took it down that day. They feel that way today. And if they feel that way 2, 3, 4 times a year on a big stage, we're doing something right.
Horizon, thanks so much. Anything you want to shout out?
No, just all the fans out here. Travis for inviting everybody up.
Let's
Gentlemen,
go,
thank you for
Travis.
taking the question. Y'all are both fantastic representatives of the league, and I think everyone, speaking for everyone, I say we can't wait to see you guys at Worlds. So cheers and best of luck.
Thank you.
I wish
Thanks,
you 2
man.
games of luck, Papa.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So
That was good.
as we get our next guest up, I do want to say if you are arriving just now, I know we've had some people flowing in and out. Jordan over there with her hand up, she's who you want to talk to if you want to get on the show. Go write down your take, put your name there. We'll bring it up, and we'll get it that way. So go see her if you'd like to get a chance to come on the show. Who is our next guest?
Do we have a Dustin in the audience?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The front row is
Oh,
really
wow, front
bringing it.
row.
Yeah.
Too.
Thank
See
you,
the
Dustin. Come
CLG
on.
fan over here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the poor CLG fan. Somebody was in a TSM jersey yesterday.
That I did like that jersey a lot,
Yeah.
though, CLG.
Yeah, TSM's not around anymore.
Well,
Accurate.
speaking of them,
Yeah.
Dustin,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
D-
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So,
Where are you joining us from, by the way?
Oh, I'm actually coming from Ann Arbor, Michigan, but
Michigan.
I'm a Canadian, so
You-
Canada proud.
You're not
Yeah,
watching.
proud.
Not watching the Wolverines play right now.
No, and I'm probably gonna get some trouble for that
Yeah.
from my boss.
I heard the
later.
horns were up, not down.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have a question, and this is actually for Steve, and then the foil of it is for you, PapaSmithy. Steve, about 5 years ago, you were sitting in an interview with Reggie, and he was saying, well, I have 6 titles. I don't know if you can do math, yada, yada, and was coming from a position of like dominance. Hey, I've won a lot of titles and so on. And at the time, TL was the smaller challenger. There was a hefty bet made at that time. There's a lot of confidence and so on. But now that you're on the opposite side of that, how does it feel? Are you approaching differently? Is maybe there's some advice you can give to FlyQuest as the arguably smaller challenger this time around?
And I should say, I think this was at a Hotline League that we did before another finals that this conversation took place.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was for those that don't recall what happened, it was on your show, and Andy was just being Andy, and he was kind of bullying me a little bit. He's like, "Put your money where your mouth is. Let's bet 100K on the game." He lost. Yes, he did. So I spent it.
I think I remember Greeley got unhappy with you guys about that too.
Oh, actually, I'm not supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Fuck! I was actually. Oh my god! I was not actually. Oh my god! Damn it!
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Edit the VOD. Edit the VOD.
It's happened in the Matrix. Okay. Anyway, so sitting on the other side, I think we still approach going into every series the same mentality, which is play your best, irrespective of who you're going against. Just you put in all the time. Don't leave any reason for excuses. And a lot of that had to do with the prep that was leading up to today. And I know for a fact that our players have been putting in everything, scrimming like crazy. We ran out of scrim partners because there's like none left. So we're scrimming like Maryville and R6 and,
Yep.
and we're doing like 10 hours of scrims with these teams, And of course, it would be easy for the team to be like, oh, no, like it's no waste of time. No, they're taking it super serious. They're giving it 100%. So I think, we're gonna play our best today, and I have full confidence in that. Advice for Papa Smithy and FlyQuest. Well, one, I just say I'm really proud of the organization that you have kind of built since you joined, and to have a team that is so inexperienced achieve so much in comparison to the other teams in LCS deserves some props. Like for real, that is not easy to do. That means that your coaching staff and the structure is working like 100% because so kudos to that and good luck tomorrow or today. I'm sorry. Good luck today. I think you'll need it, legit, but you do have a shot. So yeah, good luck.
I think that all I can add is to your point about being the favorite or being the underdog. It's easier to be the underdog. It's easy to rise up against a common goal and feel like everyone's against you for a team. That's when I won my LCS title 2021 summer with 100 Thieves. We came into like the finals weekend as an afterthought and left with the trophy 3-0 over Steve actually on that day. So the underdog
Yeah,
is
that was the
definitely
second one.
the easier part, but it turns fast. The moment that people look at you in that different way, humility, professional humility, and kind of like the essence of humility is tough. Every player and every org, I think, interacts differently after a success, and I think that the pride can really get you down. So I think, in general, my philosophy has been to play down kind of like people walking too tall or too broad shoulders. Obviously, you want some level of bravado. Like the players need to feel like they're the best. But I think playing into that as an org is where things can get dangerous because that's where you can actually kind of like delude yourself a bit. So professional humility is usually the right kind of like balance to strike.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, thanks for answering that. That's I got no follow up on that one.
Kind of on that topic, actually, I thought one of the core things going into the day was actually APA's tweet going up against you guys.
Oh, I didn't see it. What did it say?
Roughly is like that he had a lot of respect for FlyQuest and feels like, it's an honorable opponent or respectful opponent to have.
I mean, when you see a tweet like that from APA, you wonder what the
Yeah.
quote retweet after
Yeah,
his series is going to be. So
Yeah.
you don't buy into it too much, but
Good
you know,
start.
Or what's said in game, not
Or
even
what's said
not
in
even
game.
after game.
yeah, I don't audit the players. I don't know who has them muted. Hopefully it's all 5. But
Have you told the players to mute?
I think that if you choose not to mute, then it's like for a reason, I hope, right? I don't think you accidentally leave them unmuted is like the way I look at it. So hopefully there's no like Riot settings issues where like the mutes reset or something. But
I noticed that like in the last time that we played, I think all other 4 players had
but
muted,
Bwipo had him
but
unmuted.
Bwipo didn't. And then
Dangerous.
dangerous. Dangerous. Yeah,
Um,
that was pretty good. Sorry, I don't.
No. It's all good. I think APA, it's like a player that I've been aware of since I moved to North America at the end of 2019 when we were scouting for our amateur team. He was our second choice for mid lane behind Copy, who we eventually went with. And he was the player. He was very much the Aurelion Soul one trick back in those days, different Aurelion Soul. And already a high achiever on the ladder, already a grinder. He always had the games played. And I think there was a lot of internal doubt from a lot of experts whether he could make it, whether he could break through. And I think he's very much the hard work pays off type of player. Like there's prodigious talents like a JoJo and there's grinders like an APA. And that doesn't mean he doesn't have talent. It just means that he's cultivated the maximum of where he's at. So regardless of whether it's a bit, regardless of whether it's a meme, at the end of the day, we've faced each other, 4 times domestically now in best of 5s. I remember when we met, you were at the Academy final, I think, right before the LCS final in, I want to say 2022 or 2021. And it was like, we keep facing each other. That in both Academy and LCS, what does that mean? And I think those sort of days lead on to days like today. So
Yep.
it's a good problem to have.
Well, hey, anything you want to say to anybody out there?
Yeah, actually, I want to give a huge shout out to Travis for something that not a lot of people shout him out for. This shows ripple effect on the community. The number of people who can come on here, voice their takes, you can get exposure to like other commentators in the league, has really helped like keep the fandom having like a strong foundation. And I just want to like shout out Travis
Yeah,
for
kudos,
keeping
Travis.
this going.
Fully agree.
So many creators I've discovered through this show, and I just think it's so awesome. And thanks a ton for Steve and PapaSmithy coming on. Thanks a ton for Cubby picking up Mark's slack. You know, like so
There's a lot to
shout
pick
out.
up, I'll say. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you
much for
very
coming on.
much.
Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So I will say, as we've been looking through these takes, none of you have provided any spicy takes. Nobody's like, yo, Team Liquid's gonna get stomped today. Nobody says anything about like FlyQuest shouldn't be here. I was kind of surprised by this. If anybody's feeling cocky about it, go hit up Jordan over there and grab a note card.
I mean, is it that kind of split, Travis? Like, for once we had what, the 3 All-Pro teams from 3 teams.
I mean, this
the
is
Cloud9's not here,
it's
obviously, but it's
talk
a regular
your
season
split,
award.
right? Isn't that the whole theme?
Yeah.
We've
mean-
seen so much trash talk. I figured somebody would come up. Who do you want to pull up now?
I think we're gonna go with Chad. We have a Chad in the audience.
Chad.
Oh,
Chad,
all right.
come on out. Speaking of Hotline League, wearing the Hotline League Worlds Tour shirt, which is awesome to see. Yeah.
That was a shirt.
Yeah. No, it is.
You did your own Eras tour?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not that. I would not make that reference. All right. Yeah, Chad, where are you joining us from?
From Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene, Oregon. What do you want to talk about on the show today?
I want to talk about that this year at Worlds, the expectation should be that both FlyQuest and Team Liquid make it out of the Swiss stage.
Okay.
Whoa.
FlyQuest and Team Liquid out of the Swiss stage. All right, audience, what do you think of that? Is that true or?
Oh no.
Cautious optimism.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. People were
over here.
Yeah, there's a mixed reaction from the audience on that one. All right, why do you think they should both make it out of Swiss?
I think that Team Liquid has a really strong performance internationally this year by North American standards. I think at both EWC and MSI, taking T1 to the brink at EWC as well as having a fairly competitive series at MSI. I think FlyQuest actually did end up showing up pretty well at EWC, almost taking down G2. And that was with Quad barely being on the roster for maybe a month at that point. And as you can see throughout regular season and playoffs, Quad's looked a lot stronger. He's up there with APA as one of the best mid laners in NA easily. I think FlyQuest has shown in their last series against TL that they can compete with Team Liquid, just 1 game difference. I'm expecting another 5-game series again today, but I think both these teams have shown pretty exceptional performances with NA, and I think they can put that at Worlds as well.
All right, Steve, you said undefeated this split. Now you're going to Worlds. How much confidence do you have going into Worlds? Because as much as you say I've never said undefeated before, I have heard you be like, "Yo, I think this year's the year." I think
Yeah,
we got
but
it.
I've never said the word undefeated.
Yeah, I know you've never said undefeated, but going to Worlds, I've heard you multiple times be like, "This is the year."
I
We're
have
gonna
said
do
that
well."
video. This is
Yes,
the year.
yes.
This is the year.
So, is this the year?
I'll give you an honest take. I'll give you the honest take. So a patch dropped, and we all know that has huge consequences to how Worlds is going to be played. Has everybody seen the patch? Like, this thing is insane. Okay, so they took 15 of the top pick ban champions globally and nerfed 14 of them. The whole meta is going to shift. And look, I'll put it this way. I think the teams that work the hardest between now and the start of Worlds are going to have a massive advantage going into Worlds. So that will probably play into our hand a lot because we're a hard-working team. We grind. So that is really good. I think this will probably be the best Worlds performance we've ever had. I'll put it that way. I believe that. Whether we make it to the finals, we'll see. But it will be the best performance we've ever had. Yeah.
And how are you feeling about FlyQuest?
I think that every year there's a hopium take around this time about, North American teams getting it out of groups. Obviously Swiss now as compared to groups. I think that usually I'm going to roll my eyes at home privately, whether I'm in that group or not. But I think that what Team Liquid and FlyQuest are doing is trying to kind of get that recognition, that we can start to get those expectations higher with fans, to stop the eye rolls, to show that there are disappointments at Worlds groups. There aren't just like over performances and regular performances. And I think that's where I'm confident. Like, I think both of us are unlikely to go and flame out or make excuses. We're going to work hard and try to achieve things. So I think that that's the thing that we're both trying to do, is to try to come in and say that the LCS 1 and 2 seed are going to be competitive regardless of opponent.
I might need some help from caster historian PapaSmithy here, but I think for precedent, the last time that 2 NA teams got out would have been 2014.
Yeah, 2014, and that was a different format.
It was a different
It
format,
was.
yeah.
I will say though, I find it interesting is like back then, the IEM tournaments were still going on, and this is the first time in a while where you've had another chance to actually go international with EWC. So I feel like, I mean, you just got more exposure to good teams. I feel like that boosted both of you throughout the split.
I mean,
And-
for sure, especially like
Yeah.
Quad being able to play on
Yeah.
a stage before he played here was, I think, a really important thing. The travel, the experience, the rigmarole that it is going international. Like, I think you could definitely feel it in game 1 yesterday. Like, I could see that, some of the 100 Thieves players are just missing skill shots in a way that looked abnormal. And I think they were kind of like succumbing to the pressure of a studio or stage in a different way than us. So I think definitely it was an advantage. And if you listen to rumors, there should be multiple international events next year, more so than just the usual 2. So we'll take it for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what both of you can do.
I was just gonna say, like, that was a pretty cool moment at EWC. We were playing against T1. I don't know, did folks watch that match? I mean, holy shit! I was backstage with Spawn, and we were watching. We're in the 3rd game, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and I was like, "We're gonna win this," and he's like, "It's impossible to lose," is what he says to me.
You don't put that out in the world. You don't manifest that energy, Steve.
Undefeated,
And I was
impossible to
like, what?
lose.
I was like, what? And then it's like, oh god. Then everything was a train wreck after that. But anyway, yeah, it was. I think a lot of experience from these international events has really helped.
Chad, what are your hopes for 100 Thieves at Worlds?
I hope they make it out of play-ins into Swiss. I hope they can take a game off in Swiss. I think the experience for the newer players like Sniper and whatnot, I think will be really good for them go in the upcoming years in the LCS.
Awesome.
I imagine they would resent this idea of like we're going for the experience, like a class trip. Like, that feels very like infantilizing for them. And I know Grayson really well. Obviously worked with Golden Glue at 100 Thieves for a couple years, just like you worked with Spawn for a couple of years. Like, there's no way he's gonna be happy just to show up, punch the ticket, and go home. Like, I think that they want to do damage, and maybe you want to say that you're gonna hold FlyQuest and TL to a higher standard of what damage means, but I think we'll know it when we see it. And I think I'm personally jazzed for Sniper versus Summit in that first match. Like an LCS MVP versus a budding LCS MVP. I think it's gonna be really fun.
Awesome. Chad, anything you want to shout out or say?
Yeah, shout out Kia, NZXT, Prize Picks. Shout out you, Travis. Thank you for having the show. Hotline League's been great. I've been watching since Kelby was on all the time, so it's been a long time. And yeah,
He's back there.
Shout out Kelby.
shout out Kelby.
Kelby.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
All right, I think we have time for maybe one more take with
Are you going to our boot camp in Europe before?
No, I think
Oh.
we're going straight to Berlin.
They're going. Okay.
Is 100 going?
I think they're staying at our facility in Europe. Yeah.
Oh, did you guys
Oh, cool.
invite them?
I think we invited both,
Okay.
but I think maybe 100 Thieves took the offer, and so we have a beautiful facility in Utrecht. So I guess we'll boot camp out of there weeks leading up.
Nice. When do you know when you're leaving?
I don't.
Okay. Hopefully soon.
I
It's a
think
short
by
window.
the end of next week is the standard for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, for 100, it's a really quick turnaround. I think play-in starts the 25th or something like that. So it's pretty fast.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, one
All right.
more person. join?
We have a take from Caster.
Caster with a K.
Caster,
There we go.
yeah.
All right,
Second
come
row.
on down.
Welcome to the
Cheers
stage.
for Caster.
I think everyone's had TL gear, minus Shadow at Hotline League gear, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, Caster.
Oh, you got the
welcome to
double
show.
lift jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm from here, LA.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Whereabouts in LA?
The most northern part, it's called the Antelope Valley, Lancaster.
Oh yeah, you're way up there.
Yep.
Well, probably a little cooler down here today.
Yeah, a little bit. Still warm out.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about on the show?
My question, or take, or it's more of a question, has to do with like Worlds, NA performing at Worlds. The The idea is that I have seen in traditional sports a tradition of players that have won championships in the past elevating their current teammates who are not the best. I think of, like, I'm a traditional sports fan, basketball. Kobe won with the Lakers with Shaq. Obviously, they were dominant. But then he won again in 2009 and 2010 with like a team of no name, like Pau Gasol and like no one. So how does the experience of a champion like Core JJ, like Impact, help the team achieve levels that would be the highest levels in the world, competing with obviously Korea and China? Like how do we get back there? I know we've asked that in NA for years, but how can we take those experiences and try to manifest something for us?
Yeah. So I don't know if folks remember, but when Core first came, right, to NA, he actually did an interview and he said that he wanted to win a championship for North America. And since then, like during the off season, he would
Which felt like a talking point, right? Like it
It
felt
did.
like one of those ones where, like, okay, sure, bro.
yeah, sure, bro, right?
Steve
Like a
put
lot
him
of
in the
players say
contract,
that.
you know, you got to say
Yeah.
this kickoff, yeah.
No, but like let's give him credit where credit's due. Where like during the offseason he was holding like scrimmages with other North American teams. He was uploading videos to YouTube on how to play certain matchups in bot lane. Like he was giving his all. And the vibe, I know folks don't see this because it's just happening in the facility, but the vibe is that people look up to Core. People look up to Impact, and they are almost like a mentor to new players, and they're also acting as a coach in game and out of game. And this is what's really interesting about this version of the roster in comparison to any other roster that we've had previously. When we put Core JJ in with Bjergsen, you know, they're both great players. They both have great accomplishments and everything. But it's a different vibe when you have APA and Core because APA is eager to learn. He's eager to get better at the game. So after every scrimmage, it's not like they're just sitting there like, you know what you know and I know what I know. It's like APA is going over like, hey, let's go over our game. Like, what could I have done better? What about my build? And that constant like just thirst for knowledge and like getting better at the game is just an environment that I've never seen before in any roster that we've ever done. So it's almost like unlocked Core. It's unlocked Impact, where like they are being listened to, you know, and their advice is being sought after by Yon, you know, and they just kind of like nerd out for like hours about the game, not because they have to, because they love it and they want to be there and they want to win, and it's just infectious. You know, you go into the room and it's electrifying. I haven't felt anything like it before. So that's what's different about this year.
I like that you bring up the kind of like Core and Bjergsen counterpoint to this year, because I think these players who have stature, I mean, you're talking specifically about Worlds winners like Impact and Core, but you know, Bjergsen not a Worlds winner, but still going to be like an amazing kind of like mentor figure to a lot of North American players. They have kind of like, and you've been in the room with many different teams, these big name players have like a gravitational pull where their words hit a little bit different. You ascribe like positive intent or respect to the things they say compared to someone else. But if you have too many people like that and you're like someone in the court in the middle, sometimes it's hard to know what exactly to listen to and what not to, or what to like have like wash over you or like do exactly what that person says. It gets really complicated with one person where you're like trying to get to know their flow and vibe. But when it's three different people who learned under different systems, one under different systems, and you're sitting there like looking left and right, like mommy and daddy fighting kind of vibe, it's tough. It's tough to know what to do there. So I think the modern philosophy of roster building, this idea of like mechanical upside, young players who are trying to look around the room to work out how to win, and people who feel confident they know how to win and want to impart that, who are bought into a roster that isn't just finished products. Every accomplished player thinks they want to play with four other accomplished players and then regrets it right afterwards. It happens every single year. And so I think that's the big thing there, is that when you have this like symbiotic relationship of someone who wants to teach, like Inspired, for example, in the off season when we were talking to him, and I imagine he was like considering different opportunities. He was like, "What roster do you have?" And we're like, "We're thinking about Master and Busio bot lane, and we don't have anything else." And like, that's a rookie and a player who struggled next to double lift on 100 Thieves, right? So there's a lot of players who'd be like, "Yeah, I'll get back to you, bro." Will be kind of like the vibe. And he was like, "No, I've seen them. They're good players. I want to play with them." And like, he committed to the team with a rookie bot lane. So like if halfway through the year he's like, what the hell is this bot lane? Like he chose it. You know, he had all the information and made the choice. And even just that variable means that, you know, especially at the start of the year when they're running it down, 'cause two rookies trying to work out how to play bot lane, his first thought is going to be, I'm going to help these guys, or I'm going to sit there and try to learn. Like he played like 80 carry and solo queue to try to like be a bouncing off point, even as a jungler. Like he's bought in, and I think you can see that from TL, and I can tell you that about FlyQuest 2, and I think that's the environment you want. So whether it's Worlds winners or it's people who just really want to be in North America and build something here, I think when you get that mix right, it hits diff for sure.
Steve, how happy are you that you got Impact back this year?
Oh my god, so happy. So happy. Yeah. It was like one of those things where I never wanted to part ways with Impact, you know. He's obviously like the GOAT. He's just so good at the game. He's got a great attitude. He's a good person, like good heart. You know, sometimes economics don't always align. You don't have the budget, but you know, I'm
And
glad
that's
he
coming
came
from
back.
Steve, by the way.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, I did a video a couple weeks ago just hyping up how much I think Core and Impact have done for the LCS and how lucky we are to have them. I think, you know, there's discussion, and I've even led some of it before, about frustration for players that will come to the LCS and then leave really quickly, and just seeing how committed these two players have been, not just to playing and competing in the LCS, but also in and actively participating in the systems that are part of it. I think has been really awesome, and I think so many of us are so lucky to have had them for so many years. So,
And I can say pretty confidently that the players you see here now didn't come to North America under false pretenses, whether that's there's a huge bag here, I'm going to collect it, or this is going to be easy, without kind of like, because I think a lot of people from the outside see the level of play and they're like, oh, I'm a great player, I'll come in and just overcome that. And it's obviously a product of a lot of variables. You and I have lamented about kind of like solo queue and upcoming talent, et cetera, et cetera. There's reasons the final product look the way that it does, that aren't just like players are lazy. And I think that's the thing I can say is like the huge bags aren't there like they were before. So if you're here, you want to build something, and I think that's something you'll see whether it's a resident player or an import at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the cooler stories I have about Core is I remember in Scouting Grounds in 2020 when you guys were scouting out Yawn and just picked up Spawn. Like when those days ended, it was Spawn, Yawn, and Core in a call for like 2-3 hours afterwards, just talking. And I know a lot of people will always see Core doing with players like Tactical or Yawn when they first get in the system on the ladder, but also behind the scenes, the amount of work that he puts in just for the academy team is crazy. I don't know if you know this. I was a body for you guys when you had your tryouts where you picked up APA. So it was Spawn, Hatham, me, and Core. And the last 2 days, it was Spawn versus Core coaching. And like hearing Core, who of course is this LCS player, so be so invested in like, hey, we're just gonna get these guys in the system. I think they're good. Just trying to talk through like Seri Lulu versus Lushinami, just the matchup back then, was really cool. And the players, like everyone really looks up to him. So I think a lot of people do see the impact that a player like Core and Impact have, but also behind the scenes, just knowing the work that they put in, like he's never came here to cash out for a single day, and I respect it a lot from each of them. So very cool.
Yeah, and I've never said this, but I will now, which is he's definitely not about the bag, you know, because there's been times that have been very trying in esports. You have the esports winter, economics change, you may lose a sponsor, partner, maybe you're not receiving as much money from Riot. He has been a gem to work with, you know, like, hey, we're not doing so well, maybe we lost a sponsor or whatever, can you help out? Can you pitch in? And he's always been willing. And so that mentality in of itself shows that he's not here for the bag. He's here to develop the region to hopefully one day get a world championship for North America. I know that he believes that in his heart, and he puts in the work to make it happen.
awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything that you want to shout out or say here at the end?
I just again want to say thank you to you, Travis. I think watching Hotline League has, like the others have said, really kept us interested through some of the boring seasons. But really, like, we have a passion for NA League, and we want to see that we can compete with the best teams in the world. So I'm just excited. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the sponsors.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
you. All right, so we'll wind down our conversation with you two here so that you can get off and head back to the booths and meet other fans and that type of stuff. But anything that either of you want to say ahead of the match today? Maybe predictions would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a 5-game series for sure. We'll win with 3-2, but I think it'll be a great series. I think both teams are going to play their heart out, and that's what you want. You want just like a really good series that's just really fun to watch with like great team fighting, and so I'm excited to watch that. Anything I'd like to say? Thank you, Travis. You've been a cornerstone to the entire community and running this show. It's been fun joining Hotline League over the years and listen to Kelby complain every now and again, and but no, it's been fun, and I appreciate you and everything that you've invested in the League of Legends and the scene. Your heart's in the right place, so thanks.
I think for myself, a rivalry with Team Liquid in League of Legends is all I could ask for. I think being a team that being a rivalry, being a matchup that people are excited to watch. We have 3 previous examples in playoffs. We have the regular season games. I think people are excited to see this match and see how it plays out, regardless of 3-0 or 3-2 or what the result is. And I think that's the first step. Obviously confident the boys are going to rally today, build off the momentum of yesterday, and take down the first title for FlyQuest, which would be a big achievement for us. And more generally to the fans, I think a lot of people came into summer this year with a lot of questions and ill intent about FlyQuest after the roster change we made. Obviously, Jensen is a legend of the scene, and taking him out was always going to be something that we understood was going to be received negatively. Had a great spring season, but as a staff, we just thought that there was something there with Quad, and there was something to build and something that could come together in summer. And I think a lot of people can see what we saw now, and we could share it. And obviously, we needed the benefit of time to show that. And what I hope is that we can continue to build a FlyQuest fandom, to have people buy into more than just the players on the Rift, but also the staff and the potential and what we're looking for. Because if we can consistently make small adjustments to continue to compete, first locally and then internationally, we hope that the fans will be proud. So shout out to the fans for starting to come around to us, and to those that believe from the start. Maybe you're a bit deluded, but we appreciate it. And shout out to Travis, Cubby, Mark previously, and everybody here, and the sponsors, because this is the lifeblood of the community, coming in, talking, being accountable to the happy days and the frustrated days when it comes to the LCS, and to many more years of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Round of applause for
Thanks, guys.
PapaSmithy and Steve.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
And thanks for all the TL support out there. I see like a trillion jerseys. Let's go. We're gonna do it today.
We'll
Let's
be
go,
right.
Liquid, baby.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, look at this.
No shot.
No, he's got to try again.
You good, dude? They're watching. Hey, man, chill. I got it.
Yep. Wow. Pulled it off at the end.
Wow.
Not bad.
Not bad, not bad.
Taking pictures with fans, it's always cool to see. I love live events so much. It's always good to come out to these things and meet people in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun, and it's always more packed today, day 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know, seeing this fill up, this venue is actually really nice. I've really been enjoying it.
Yeah. People who watched the stream yesterday knew that I was probably just melting in my seat, and thankfully we've got a little bit of cloud cover today. It's much nicer, but as you said, it is pretty packed out here. We have the 2025 K4 on display here from Kia. It's got a lovely League of Legends wrap to it, which is awesome. I've been seeing a ton of people. I saw some of the 100 Thieves players walking by a second ago. Jack was walking by. It's always cool to see Mrs. Chim Chim over there.
Yeah. Shout out as well, Fear Starforge and Dragonsteel both in the building. They have their final tomorrow for NACL.
Oh yeah, that's really true. Yeah, so
yeah, it was really cool.
NACL fans rejoice. Actually, that's a nice little dessert, I guess I should say, to the LCS finals, right? As we'll have that. Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe a closer series. Who knows? Maybe messier. We got Fearless. It's fun.
So I've heard that Meteos should be around somewhere, but I don't see him yet. So we're hoping that Meteos will arrive soon. In the short term, I think I'm going to try and see if I can pull Kelby from his conversation with PapaSmithy. And yes, come on up. We were just talking about Kelby a lot. He's off stage. Welcome Kelby to the stage. Kelby, it's been. I think there's a lot of people who still might not know who you are, even though you're a long-time
That's fair.
Hotline League person. Do you want to
I've
explain
been
who you
losing
are?
Twitter followers ever since I left CLG to join Evil Geniuses.
That's
So
true. That's true.
It's true.
Well, CLG lost all their Twitter followers, so you're still
Yeah, I
coming
still
out
got
of
more
it.
than CLG.
Yeah.
It's sad looking for the remnants of like. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to go back and watch like our old I Buy Power vlogs or something like that, and I'm like, that shit's gone. You can't find it anymore. It's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. You know what I just noticed, by the way? There's a nice barbecue smoke coming off
There
of the
is.
thing over there. It's giving a lot of ambiance to
Yeah, adding
the
some
space.
mystique to the broadcast.
it's-
It actually smells really good.
It does.
I will
That's
say.
what I'm going to be going after this. Kelby, do you want to talk about what you're doing these days?
Yeah, I work for Off Brand, which is a cooperative that most people associate
Ludwig's
with.
company.
Yeah, with Lud. Sorry, I was gonna do the ramble. But yeah, I work for them. I do all their sponsorships. I do Lud's personal sponsorships, and I'm also an agent for Busio. So slightly
Busio. Any
conflicted.
Busio fans out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There.
slightly conflicted in my opinions on the series today, and then also an Apex Legends player, Koifel.
Nice. Well, I do want to give everybody a chance here. There's probably some new people that have wandered by. If you would like to come on the stage and talk to us, please go give Jordan over there. She's got her hand waving some note cards. A hello, and then go write down what your take is. Put your name down. She's gonna run that upstage, and then Cubby will get a chance to call somebody up. So I see a couple people, hopefully, that are gonna try to get on. So please go talk to Jordan right now. Put your take down, and you can come on. Maybe we'll talk about Busio. Maybe we talk about the. I know what everyone wants to talk about at a live Hotline League before finals is the economics of the space. So maybe we can
Exciting
talk about
stuff.
the economics. Yeah.
Well, actually, I will say for me, I'm kind of jealous you're Busio's agent because I feel like that was actually me on broadcast when I was covering him in Challengers. But
Are you looking for a kickback? Is that what the
Yeah.
ask is?
well, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit too late for that. I'm actually gonna try and get it back though with Surdy this upcoming year. So yeah, we're going for that. But the fun story is Busio and Ayla were the two candidates for the most valuable prospect. Busio did win it. You can thank me for that a little bit. But also, there was actually a tie, and we had Kelsey Moser break it. And so I pinged Kelsey yesterday, like we were right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got introduced to Alan because I worked with Peter for Double F, for a long time. And he was joining 100 Thieves, and he was like, "Hey, there's this like up and coming support. He's like rep by this other agent right now, but he's like 40th on their roster. He's not getting any attention. So like maybe you could help him out." And getting to know Alan, he's just like a really sweet kid. Obviously very talented. If Double F saw potential in him, I was like, I'm fully on board. So we've been working together ever since. And yeah, he's just been a treat, and I really, really like helping him out.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see him play. When was the last time you were in a major arena, a League of Legends arena event?
Oh damn, I'm getting outed right now.
It's been a while. I'm just saying it must be really cool because you were here yesterday. You got to watch him play on stage.
Yeah. It was great. I feel like the last time is when Peter won on TL and they did finals in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Because I went to that event. That was a long time ago. That was like 2016.
So what was it like for you back here yesterday?
It's cool. I think that they did a really, really nice job with the space. It's great to see all the people out. The venue inside, the YouTube theater is really nice. New venue. So it was great.
Yeah.
And I thought that the broadcast looked clean yesterday.
Yeah. Speaking of getting to see people, do you all see Jat up there on the balcony recording something of the YouTube theater? Here's what I think. I think we should say hi Jat on the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3, hi Jat in a second, and see if we can get his attention while he's trying to work and just disrupt him from whatever he's trying to do. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Hi Jat. No, we couldn't get it. They looked over the production people, but
The producers didn't like that.
he's a professional.
Yeah.
We tried. All right. So do we have a take, Cubby? You want to break somebody up?
Hold on. We've got Jason Ben. We have Jason Ben.
Jason, are you still here? Here he is.
All right.
Jason, come on up. Awesome. Welcome, Jason. Big cheers for Jason.
By the way, while we get Jason a mic, who here remembers or recognizes Kelby's shirt?
Oh,
This
wow.
is a throwback.
It is.
That is
I was a fan. I remember. I was there for the Link days.
Yeah. This is I've had this shirt for
A decade?
It's been
it's
it's
gotta
been
be
at
over.
least 10 years.
Oh my
This
god.
is a Matcom original for those of you who remember
yeah.
the inspiring authors behind the Pool Party series.
Oh my god. Do
Uh,
people even remember the pool party?
Yeah,
series?
Matt did all of our merch when we were at CLG, and this was the shirt edition that we did for Link, our former mid laner.
It's crazy. Jason, where are you joining us from?
Hi.
Oh, it'll come back. There you go. It's good.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
I am from Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, did you fly in for this?
Yeah, just for this.
That's
I'm also
awesome.
seeing some friends tomorrow, but yeah, this is why I'm here.
That's awesome. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So I actually just put another take in there. It's kind of about
Ooh.
economics.
I think
I don't know.
let's do the
let's-
first one is what we
okay,
pulled
yeah,
you
sure.
for, yeah.
So my first take is
Sneaky.
Riot needs to do a better job next year at bringing more road shows for LCS fans, because this FanFest is an amazing event. Just walking around, seeing all the League fans here, seeing all the League personalities, all the booths. And most of the org booths are like really cool, really fun. I got so much swag. I got this awesome wide Whippo fan. It's so sick. I'm just having a great time. I'm loving LCS more than ever, it feels like. I've been such a long time fan, and I feel like making this kind of experience accessible to League fans across the country would just do so much for the scene. And I don't know, I'm really grateful that I was able to come out here and experience this, and I want more people to have that same experience.
Yeah, how have you been to events before this?
My last esports event was 2016 World Semis at Madison Square Garden.
Oh wow, okay. So yeah, so this is the first for you in a while, about
Yeah.
8 years or so. All right, yeah. I mean, what have you enjoyed? You mentioned like seeing people and all that stuff, but what has been your favorite thing that you've gotten to do here so far today or this weekend?
I mean, the meet and greets are really cool. Just like seeing the people I've been following for so long, just like in person, getting pictures with a bunch of people. Cubby was the first person I saw. I got a picture with him. Yeah, I don't know. Just like it feels real, you know. It's like seeing it on the screen, you know. It's like it feels far away, but I'm actually here, you know, getting to experience it with everyone. It's totally different.
Yeah, the callers are real too. Yeah, that's
yeah.
been wild.
Yeah, that's actually very true. And one of my favorite things is you get a caller and they're just a disembodied voice, but you get to see them in person here. How about all of you? Would you like more road shows? Yeah. I definitely would love to see more road shows. I mean, I think these are the things for me, and it's always been this case. Is like when I first started off doing LCS, or well, even the time there was no LCS, League of Legends coverage, I would go out to an event every now and then, but it would just be rough whenever for months and months and months I wouldn't get to meet people in person. I wouldn't get to see anybody. I would just sort of be doing a lot of the work out of my bedroom, and it was I think not a job that I could do for very long if it weren't for events like this, or even just sometimes going to the LCS studio and getting to meet people in person and get inspired by everybody who is excited to watch the content, who's excited about LCS games, who's getting pumped about a new player, or is excited to meet like one of their favorite veterans. So for me, the road shows have always been incredibly important. I really am sad that we've only done one this year. I love LA, obviously, I live here, but I'd love also for the fact that, or to have had one of these shows that we did do this year, either the spring or this one, be in another state, or maybe another part of the country, or maybe even Canada. So yeah, I'm right there with you. These things are incredible, and I love doing them. We also get to sell these shows to our sponsors, so that's also there's a revenue generating opportunity there as well.
Yeah. I mean, like these weekends are a lot more work. It gets busier, but I like sometimes in the middle of the season, like you just get in the mix of things, especially with me, helping out with the broadcast. I experience burnout here and there. Not this weekend. This is way too much fun, and I'm on like 5 hours sleep, and I do not care. And I don't have a coffee, and I'm usually a coffee drinker, and it does not matter. I'm in the same camp as all you guys, having everyone in the same place, like actually getting to feel things, it is real, and stuff that we really look forward to as well. So, yeah, I think getting on the road's great. I only traveled to Boise for CLOL this year, which was a lot of fun. Usually is a good excuse for me to experience new places. Like experiencing Boise was unironically really cool. A place that I know you're familiar with, Travis. So
vaguely.
Yeah, I think more roadshow is great. I know that it's on like watch party, just engaging fans as well. Like the watch parties, I think is a great idea. The fact that some of those are being put together. Wonder if we're live in any of those right now, but yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't they do more road shows, guys?
Yeah.
They
Kel-
should just do more. What
Kel-
is Riot doing?
Kelby, we were just we were just talking about this. This is your first time back for a long time. What is it? You said you like the space and everything, but I guess you go to a lot of other esports events. You were just at an Apex event in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lud's company, what I do there, like, is event production.
Yeah.
Different scale than this, because we don't have a multi-billion-dollar title backing us from a revenue perspective. Those things just like have to earn revenue on their own. And Lud talks publicly as well about how a lot of the events that we do still lose money. I think that is probably just like the unfortunate and very boring response with regards to why Riot has scaled back a lot of the things that they've done around the LCS when it comes to physical in-person events. They obviously love and want to do these activities. Like, it's very invigorating, especially when you're somebody who works on a product like this, when you get to come out and see all of these people enjoying what you put together, right? Versus like in the studio,
Yeah.
I go to LCS weekly when I'm here, and it is a different energy level than being out here. It's very rewarding and invigorating. These events are also very expensive to produce. And while partners love them, it's not like their investment or their incremental investment into helping these events happen is like a one-to-one. So, like Riot is not making money on this event. I promise you that. This is an investment that they are doing into the space for us so that we can enjoy it. And obviously, I would love, and I think we would all love, if they were willing to do more of them. But at a certain point, somebody starts saying, hey, how much money have we spent on this ecosystem over the years? What is it returning? And we just need it to reach a place of sustainability so that we just don't lose it altogether. And ultimately, and I'll stop after this, I promise, that is their right. They are the IP owners. And at the end of the day, I'm just appreciative for whatever these guys are willing to put out for us.
Kelby made such a buzzkill.
I know.
regret
I
putting
knew
him on
that.
the show.
I knew that was gonna be so boring.
Yeah, boo.
That's fair, that's
Exactly.
fair.
Just boo him. Just boo him. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what? Fuck that, Riot. We need more of these. Come on.
That's
Just
what I'm
kidding,
talking
just
about.
kidding.
Good job. You saved. What was your second take? Another economics topic. We kind of merged this one into it.
Okay, so it's wildly different. It is economics though. So
Okay.
there was a post this morning I saw on the subreddit about someone from EDG talking about how they're seeing a decline in LPL viewership and young talent in LPL, etc. It was a pretty long post. I'm paraphrasing here. Reminds me of a post that I saw earlier this year from someone in LCK. I don't remember exactly who.
Yeah,
But,
Arnold.
Yeah, Gen G. Yeah.
they were making a lot of similar points. So my question is twofold here. One, we're seeing like the two like premier League of Legends regions in the world declining. We have like some of the higher management, they're worried, right? Should we be worried? Are we seeing something similar in North America? And the second part is, over the next few years, is this North America's best chance to win Worlds? If
Dude,
those
that's what I'm
regions are
talking about.
declining?
Yeah.
Dragging them down to our level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, low key, the popularity of League of Legends in Korea and China, our best chance of winning Worlds is like obviously I wouldn't want this for Riot, but it could be like Valorant instead, but a different title becoming really popular there so that their player base is lowered and we're like on a more level playing field.
I don't think that's necessary.
It would help.
Look,
It would help.
I think that Riot should be aware that this type of stuff is occurring and that there are some issues in a lot of their different leagues. I do think that the changes they're making next year with more international events and more splits and changing up formats with things like Fearless and all that stuff, I think that can revitalize the space in a lot of different areas. And I do think for a while now that Riot has been teasing that they're trying to do something with League. I think they were like 2025 is going to be a change, like everything's going to change. And then they were like, oh, did we say 2025? Well, there's going to be some changes, but I do think that they have something in the works that will hopefully get League sort of a second life here and give some revitalization to it. And so I think between what they will eventually do for the game and what they're working on and already starting to do for the esport, we can probably see an uptick in the next couple of years.
Honestly, like a lot of this is still standard life cycle of the game. Like when you release the game is going to be really popular if it's successful in the first couple of years. And then I think about how you act as a gamer. Like I'm sure a lot of us play games besides just League. You try out new games, you return to the favorites, and sometimes you drop some games along the way that were the favorites to, have time with new ones. The fact that League still has the player base that it does 14 years into the game is something that really hasn't been seen. The fact that the esport still has the support that it does is something that is still uncharted territory. So I think so far, like, it still is somewhat the life cycle of the game. You have to do things to revitalize that, which we'll see what Riot does. And that's going to have to be like something more major outside of just, patches or changing up the esport, which doesn't matter because we're talking about the game itself at this point. I think that, like, the fact that League has survived this long, even if it is like player base, slightly going down as time passes, there's enough investment where if Riot wants to, they can find ways to rejuvenate it and hopefully try and get more people back, or attract a younger audience, which I think is always just the big thing with games. And that's where League is kind of struggling. I think that the game is really too complicated, like, to get a young audience. I've talked about this a lot. I don't want to get on the high school soapbox, but I think League 2, starting with 100 champs and then just reintroduce champs from there, is actually how you kind of rejuvenate things.
Arcane Season 2 will bring back a lot of people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, I'm not joking when I say that kind of. I think we'll see a lift in player base around then because a lot of people have watched Arcane and really like it. And I remember the first season of Arcane really brought a lot of people in. So I think we'll see something there. Also, by the way, I'm playing The War Within, which is a 20-year-old game called World of Warcraft, and that game is still king of the hill. So, like, and I remember, 12 years ago, people were like, World of Warcraft is dying. So I've always been a little skeptical of the people who are saying that. Not to brush off any real concerns, because I think there are some fair things, but I'm curious to see how things go. So, yeah.
Yeah, and to get to your original question, I would suspect that this is actually not a part of the calculus for the North American region, but in my mind, to a certain degree, I do feel like we are probably partially subsidized based on LCK and LPL success, because I think that those are regions and player bases which are much more sustainable and healthy than we are. Not to say that we're, like, grossly unhealthy or something like that, but
really quickly, Kelby, I just want to cut you off.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I see a bunch of Kia folks in the back that are walking by, and it's brands like Kia and partners like Kia that help make all this stuff possible.
Agreed.
So if you
Kia.
appreciate events like this,
you know what's crazy
thank you,
is
Kia.
how many tweets I see from people who are like, I bought a Kia because of the partnership
That's
with Travis
true. That's
Gafford.
true. We've sold, I think, 500 Kias over the course of this show.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. But so the reason that I bring that up is because I think that on the international stage for Worlds, it's important for LPL and LCK to have other regions to best aside from just themselves, right? Like, the international ecosystem is much less interesting if it's just LPL versus LCK every year. So if those regions are not doing as well and they are less important to Riot, it is worse for us. So I hope that they continue to succeed and find success, because as Cubby was saying, like, guys, like, pull out, look back at, like, our situation from a higher plane. Like, the success of League of Legends and this esport is unprecedented for this industry. We are charting new waters every single year that we continue forward. No other game, no other title has had the success and been the #1 esport domestically, internationally, as long as this game. So it's kind of crazy. And every other year that we get is like, it's sick. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Anything you want to shout out here?
Thanks for having me on the show. Shout out to my friend Jasmine, who got me into League all those years ago. Shout out to your sponsors, Kia, Prize Picks, NZXT. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
Shout out to everyone who put on FanFest. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice. I'm always amazed that you just drilled it into the community. Like,
Yeah.
read off my sponsors.
They're
please.
very supportive. I don't have to do anything.
The audience is filling in for the missing sponsors.
So in a moment, I similar. We have not seen Medios yet, though. I heard that he was supposed to be around here. So if Medios pops up, somebody's pointing at a direction. He's still at the FanFest, I guess, or at the meet and greet.
He's getting Mundo dodgeball
Yeah.
right now. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I also saw Lorlo walking around, looking lost, right next to the stage, and then he wanted. Oh, there he is. Okay. So I think we will be grabbing 2 reps from Team Liquid, FastFee and Lorlo here, as they are getting ready to come up on stage. We're gonna say goodbye to Kelby.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Kelby,
Enjoy the
think you
final.
want to shout out?
Shout out Riot for making this happen. Shout out Kia. Shout out Prize Picks. All my money on FlyQuest today. Hope Busio goes insane.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we should have FastFee joining us
Hello.
here in a second as well. Hello.
Does this work? Hello?
Yes. Welcome to the show, Lorlo. Well, you know what? While we wait for FastFee to get on, we're gonna take a quick break here, and so as we get back, we'll be joined by 2 representatives of Team Liquid. But we'll see you right after this quick break.
Oh, look at this.
No shot.
No, he's got to try again.
You good, dude? They're watching. Hey, man. Chill. I got it.
Yep. Wow. Pulled it off at the end.
Wow.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
Hello, and we are back here at FanFest at Summer Championships, joined by 2 representatives of Team Liquid. We have Lorlo and FastFee. Lorlo, let's start with you.
Yeah.
What have you been enjoying about FanFest so far?
Honestly, the venue is so cool. Like, I was surprised. I've never been here. It's so sick. Like,
Yeah.
so many nice fans coming up to me, pictures. Like, I also was at the FlyQuest booth a little bit, doing a little cosplay with Basil, a good friend of mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's been hella cool though.
And FastFee, you flew all the way from Australia for this show, which is really impressive. What have you enjoyed so far about this event?
I think the sheer size of it has been overwhelming. Like this, you just do not see in Australia. It's very, very cool to see. Even just people walking around in Jersey, it's very like small kind of. I guess you guys may be more familiar with that, but the sea of jerseys, the different areas, the sheer scale of it, how big it is, has been incredible.
Yeah, there are so many Team Liquid jerseys here. And it's so funny to see all the the Deadpool jerseys all in the middle here. I see like 6 or 7 of them. 8 maybe even the Team Liquid Deadpool jerseys. So that's awesome. We're going to be working on getting some more takes on the show. So if you are wandering by right now and you would like to come on the show, join us up on stage, talk about something, please go see Jordan. She's waving the cards over there. You're going to write down your take, put your name down there. She'll help you get on the show. So please come give your spicy takes. Do you think Team Liquid's going to stomp today? Do you think put it down on take. Come on up. FlyQuest, whatever you want to say. Maybe we're talking about Worlds, all sorts of things. Talk about the season recap. We'll get into that here in a second. Anybody that you see right now that you want to call up?
Yeah, we kind of have a spicy one here.
Okay, go for it.
Do we have John? Oh,
John. Oh, here we go.
All right.
Come on up. All the front row people have been crushing it today. Welcome up, John. I was just talking about the Deadpool jersey.
Deadpool, let's go.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Jersey, looking good.
Yeah.
There you go. Deadpool Wolverine.
That's actually, yeah, it's very good. This is not paid placement, I promise. Yeah. All right, John, first off, where are you joining us from?
Yeah, I came from Ontario, Canada.
Ontario.
Whoa.
Canada in the house. We've got 2 Canadians. Did you know the other Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. All right. What do you want to talk about on the show?
I assume this is the Core Yon take.
Oh yeah.
Yon. My take is that Core and Yon are the best bot lane in the history of LCS.
Ooh. That's spicy.
That is spicy.
Yeah, they wanted to talk on the show.
Okay. Why do you think that they're the best?
So there's the default answer of, well, they took games off of T1, right? So that's kind of like only NA team that I can think of, or any bot lane that could do that. I also think Core is pretty established in terms of being probably the best support that's been in NA. So I don't think that's like all that debatable. I think Yon has shown, especially in the last kind of year and a bit, that his growth, his determination, his work ethic is pretty much second to none. You can end up looking at like Double Lift, Turtle, a bunch of other bot lane players that definitely, when the league was starting out and was kind of in the heyday, they were definitely, world contenders. But just the growth and I think there was a content piece where Sven and Jan were in a milkshake shop or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We don't have those in
a soda
Canada.
shop. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not a bar. Whatever it was not
Sure,
a bar.
definitely not
Yeah.
a bar. And he was talking about a fight in bot lane when he was on Callista during MSI or EWC or whatever it was against T1. And just talking about the fact that if he had played it just that little bit differently with the Poppy E interaction, he probably could have like 1v3'd T1. And just the analytical approach that he saw that fight and thought, no, I can win this in that moment. It makes me think that he has way more growth that he can do. And even now, like the fact that he is thinking at that analytical level makes me think he is one of the top bot laners we've had in the league. So then combining that with someone who's so tenured as core really makes me feel like put them against any other bot lane that's been in the league, and I'm putting my money on Jan and core.
All right, Lorlo. I know this is probably tough for you because you're here repping TL. So I'm sure you want to be like, yeah, it's them. They're great. But also you've been.
I'll give my honest.
Yeah. You played in the league for so long, and you played against many players. So what do you make of this take?
Honestly, Jan is. I don't know if they're the best right now, but like overall in the history. But I am like a big fan of his play. Like in terms of international performance, like he's insane. Like actually insane. And like his growth too, year to year, is like. I don't know a better word, like astounding. I guess it's like. It's pretty like impressive overall, like how much he's grown, and it's like there's Double Lift obviously, like he's the GOAT, but
Rush Hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour, and I don't know like what other bot lanes are there besides like Double Lift Afro?
Like Sneaky was a great
They
player.
sell Sneaky, yeah, it's like standout players though. I'm not really, but like I feel like he is just a hard carry, like there's not like hard carry players like him, like Double Lift him. Sneaky was more, I would say.
You're shaking your head like this?
Sneaky,
Sneaky was
like,
this?
Like, I don't know the word for it. Like, more, team play. Yeah, facilitator. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, Wild Turtle as well, more of like a facilitator, But like hard carry, it's like Jan, Double Lift, I think are like the hardest, yeah.
Berserker's up there.
Yeah, Berserker,
now.
yeah.
It's definitely an example of it. So,
yeah.
So
Thank you.
So it sounds like you're open to the idea that this could be the case.
Yeah, I think overall, I think it's just a matter of time. Like, I don't think now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the best by now, but I think maybe a year or two, I could see it being like undisputed,
Yeah.
Like, him being the best, yeah.
I mean, Double Lift and Core won 4 titles, so I'm gonna take them still. I guess it was all day. My bad. I still think that's probably the strongest bot lane. And then before that, it's probably Double Lift and Aframu in that era. I don't think that Jan and Core have toppled that yet. I think that they need to win a couple more, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited today because I feel like Masu and Busio, like, I don't think they're gonna. I think if they bring their A game, they can at least try and take it to Jan and Core, and it should be a good matchup. So I'm hopeful, but we're gonna go with not yet.
Fastby, how excited are you to see Jan and Core take the stage and to see Team Liquid play today?
I mean, with a hot take like that, I'm terribly excited. I'm happy to see Core JJ play anytime. I think what you said about undefeated in terms of effort, like Core JJ is the only other person that could probably match. But yeah, no, they're gonna win, 100%.
You had a chance to work with some of the players on Team Liquid before, including Core JJ. What was it like working with him?
Core JJ, yeah, he is like I think a massive pillar to the team and has always been. Like the entire time that I was there, he was always there, and it was like he is the pillar. And I mean that kind of directly relates to being a support player, even though he did start off as an ADC, which is like I think that's where he's like fully shaped and like really gone, and he just went in. He saw an opportunity, and I think that's where he took it, and he's just been incredible the entire time.
Yeah, and I kind of bouncing off what you just said, I feel like I agree, I think, with Cubby's assessment here that I don't know if I'm ready to say Jan and Core JJ are the greatest bot lane in LCS history after a year, but I do think if they manage to get there, which they could in the next couple of years, assuming they stay together, it will be through just how much of a veteran and how much experience Core's been able to bring. Because we've seen him before really level up the players that he gets to play with in that bot lane. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jan because I think he also deserves a ton of credit for his performance. But it does not surprise me that when we talk about the best bot lanes and we're discussing the fact that these guys could become that at some point in time, that Core JJ is in the mix, and then we're also referencing other Core JJ bot lanes whenever we discuss that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Lorlo, what do you think the chances are of a Team Liquid win today?
100%.
Okay.
3-0. Maybe not 3-0. 3-1 probably, but
3-1.
yeah,
Okay.
3-1.
You're gonna give FlyQuest a win. That's very generous of you. Yeah.
But no, like, to back up like the Yon thing in terms of like individual play, I think he's one of the best like individual AD carries we've ever seen, like in NA. I think mechanical talent wise, he's insane, and like if you have impact and core backing up his like macro knowledge and experience over time, I think he's just gonna become like he said, like maybe the best, over time, But yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, like Yon was on the academy, so if you want to say only a year, it's actually I reckon it's a little bit longer. So they have had a better relationship for quite a long time.
Yeah,
that's very true.
We were talking about that earlier. I just find it like so wild to like hear takes like this and the praises that you're singing on to, which are deserved. And think back to a year ago this time where like Yon was definitely considered a weaker point and someone that a lot of fans wanted out of TL to see if they have success, and now they're the top dogs heading into the day, and Yon's a huge part of that. Props to him on that, but that is pretty wild.
FastV, we got the prediction from Lorlo just now. What is your prediction for today's series?
I think it'd also be 3-1. We got to give the fans, I want like a good amount of games. I don't want it to be a stomp. You never want that for a finals. You want it to be nice, close, and exciting for everyone.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Anything you want to shout out here?
Yeah, shout out the Team Liquid Discord. Met a few people on there that coming from Ontario. It's been a long trip, but really nice to actually put real life faces to names. Also shout out my wife who's still back at home with our 1-year-old daughter. So she's really kind of taking the bullet for this one here.
Oh, that's really sweet, actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the games today. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys.
All right, so we have some more takes coming up here. I think we have time for one more take before we get the commissioner here in about 10 minutes up on stage to discuss, I guess, his predictions and to let you all boo and roast him. So here we go. So Cubby's going through some of these. While we wait for Cubby to read those, FastV, what has it been like coming back to the LCS? Because I know you've been in Australia for several years now, but you used to be much more active around this space when you lived in LA. So what's it been like being back?
Well, when I was active, we were going through COVID, so I actually didn't get to see this side of it to this degree. So again, it's just, I don't know, being overseas definitely has like you can feel the energy here. And it's really, really cool because, yeah, you don't get to see this in Australia. The energy and the fans and everything that all of the teams are doing and the sponsors involved is actually so amazing. I don't think if I can vouch for like an event that doesn't happen somewhere else, like appreciate this stuff, get tweeting, get involved, let them know that this is something you want to have keep happening because like to me, this is insane. If I could bring this back to Australia, like 100%, I would be doing that.
Yeah. All right. We've got more takes.
Nicholas out there. Oh, come
Maybe
on
a fresh
down.
one, yeah.
Another Team Liquid jersey. I gotta say, I just want to be clear here. We have not gotten that many FlyQuest takes. That is not on Cubby. We have just not. It seems like everybody's all in on Team Liquid today.
Team
So
Liquid
it's-
fans
yeah.
are just
It's a Team
better.
Liquid-
Let's
it's a Team Liquid show.
Hello, Nicholas. Where are you joining us from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore. Wait, are you friends with the other Maryland person?
You make friends?
But you could be friends. Okay. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So I believe this is the best roster TL has ever fielded and can make World Finals.
This roster is the best roster Team Liquid has ever fielded, and it can make World Finals. I always love they can make World Finals takes because we've gotten these a lot before. If you're going all the way to World Finals, why did you just say they could win World Finals? You're like already there on stage at Finals. Like just commit,
Very true.
Well, why do you think they're so good? Microphone
I
up.
believe that they have multiple players that can engage, which is something TL has lacked in previous iterations. It's close to like the FanFest roster, where FanFest could engage, support can engage, and other players can engage as well. But I believe that this roster just is better mechanically than that roster. That makes them, in my opinion, the better version.
So why do you think? But okay, they might.
Sorry,
I can understand why you might think they're the best Team Liquid roster ever, but why would they? Why do you think that they are going to make World Finals?
I believe that they have what it takes to honestly win series against the best teams. And in my opinion, they're one of the best teams
Okay.
right now.
Lorlo,
I can add on it. I honestly agree. I'll give you my reason.
On
I'll give you my
both?
reason. No, I agree on them having the best shot at Worlds, in my opinion, that any team probably has ever had. Because I think the meta suits them really, really well right now. I think 2v1 meta, I was actually talking to my roommate a lot about it recently. It's like, when you have a player like Impact, a player like Core that has been through the mix of it in terms of like 2v1 for a long-ass time, it's like, that's why they're winning the LCS. That's why they've been winning this whole split and they haven't lost a game. It's because when it comes to these 2v1 situations, they're always getting like a 2 to 3k gold lead like nearly every game, and it's on the backhand of that. And then you have like someone like Jan that I was saying before, like is insane individually that can use that gold league and actually carry games. And then you have someone like APA that is, I feel like his champ pool has grown a lot too from like spring to summer, and they can utilize him way more. So it's like, to me, everything's lined up because I was also like really optimistic they would perform like insanely well at MSI this year, and they did well. It was just like they fell short a little bit, but I think that practice, that overcoming from the MSI and then into Worlds, I think it's gonna be a huge showing. Honestly, genuinely a huge showing from TL this year.
It's hard to deny the 4-peat and also the fact that that team won a series against IG, which I think is like still one of the biggest upsets of all time. But I like looking at this team. I don't think this take is like as far off as actually I thought it was. Like the more I sit here and
even
think
the
about
World Finals part.
I swear it's not that crazy.
I mean,
how they did at MSI too.
I
It sounds
feel-
crazy. It sounds crazy, but it really isn't with how they're
Travis,
playing.
if the expectation is make it out a Swiss stage, which I feel like is actually kind of a fair expectation, given what Energy did last year and what TL shown so far, you only have to win 2
Travis
best of
is not
5s
buying
against
it.
Kaiju teams, And then you face the real Kaiju in World Finals on news, according to this take. But, it's fine.
Fasty, what's the energy like at Team Liquid around this team?
Oh, right now they are so locked in, being in the headquarters, seeing, because I've been streaming from there. I've been seeing the team. The pod's quite close to where the team is, and they're late. They're there the whole time, and they're very locked in. You get a little head nod every now and then, but that's it. They're on the move, or they're playing, they're doing something. So the energy is very focused, and I think that's because they know what's at stake, and it's good. It's good to see. Gives a lot of confidence.
Do you think they can make World Finals?
Uh,
Oh, okay, yes, okay. You
uh,
stolen the sign. Okay, that's a good
I
answer.
stole this sign.
Yes.
This is great. This
Exactly,
was really done
from
for
this
me. Thank
lovely
you.
gentleman.
Yes.
And another everybody has, there's so many Team Liquid jerseys, it's actually crazy.
Yes. They're great.
You know what's kind of funny?
Yeah,
I thought of you when Blippo locked in Nautilus. This split.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you were like kind of in the 1v2 meta.
No, that's why it's like there's not many players that have actually experienced like the like the start of it. Like Aframu, I think is a good one. Like he was like the head honcho, I think, in terms of like making like 2v1s and lane swaps and the level 1 invade and shit like that. But yeah, no, 2v1, especially coming like in 2015 to 2016 when I joined LCS, the transition I always remember was like crazy. Like from solo queue straight into the 2v1, it's like Jesus, it's not even the same game, And having players like that in the current meta is so important. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, even like the one swap where they left Core like the solo level on Nautilus and then came to the Rift fight and like he was just up 2 levels on everyone was like figuring out stuff like that. That's stuff that these guys have experienced when you play the game.
Like every time I watch the game, I'm like, oh, TL's lane swapping. Oh, we got a 3k gold lead. Oh, we're gonna win.
Yeah,
it's like every single time, like, oh, another lane swap. We're gonna win again.
In some way, shape, or form. And if it happens today, like look out for. I think top lane XP is always the most important thing. But then also like wherever TL has the XP lead, they will snowball that at Grub's fight. And that I think that's like the one big thing that's really separating them from. I mean, there are honestly teams like internationally I really think should be looking at TL in the way they swap, and also get APA in solo lane, get bot lane mid. They just open up the playbook for so many more options. It's actually really cool to see. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, anything you want to shout out to anybody out there?
Shout out all the sponsors. Shout out Team Liquid and all the other fans.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. All right, so we are going to say goodbye to our friends here before we take a quick break. Anything, Fastbeat, that you want to say to anybody out there? Anything you want to shout out?
Let's go Liquid. Honestly, that's about it. We're gonna win. It's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be great finals.
Lorlo, how about you?
Just thanks for having me on, Travis. That's it. And then thanks to you guys watching and hanging out too. Much love to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you both so much. Yeah. All right,
Thank
and we'll say goodbye to you now. We're going to head into a quick break, but when we get back, we'll have Mark Zimmerman joining the show.
Hello? Bro, what are you parking?
Seriously, what is that?
Remote smart parking assist. You could have parked anywhere.
They could have parked there. They could have parked there. They could have parked there.
And we're back here at FanFest. As Mark is getting blinded by the sun and the lights.
I thought that the break was going to be longer, so I thought I had.
No, we take quick breaks here. Quick reminder for everybody: this is the commissioner of the LCS. So if anybody would like to boo, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. But also, if you have a question or a take for Mark Zimmerman, we got 30 minutes. Come grill him. Jordan's over there with the cards. You're going to write down your take and your name. She'll bring it up. Please come ask him just the toughest, most annoying, most frustrating questions. He deserves it.
I can't wait to turn to a slug and just dodge all the questions.
Yes, exactly. But come up on the show and ask him a question. But Mark, we didn't even get a chance to talk too much yesterday. What was yesterday like for you?
Yesterday was pretty chill. Just sat in the lounge area, watched the games. It's a little weirder because I've done every other show as talent, so I know I'm supposed to be in the green room, I'm supposed to be on stage, and I didn't really have anywhere I was supposed to be yesterday.
Yeah, it's as the commissioner of the league, you have no responsibilities.
None. It's really weird.
It's interesting.
The higher up you go, the less
and
you do.
Yeah, is that most days for you, or is that just?
Yeah, I just kind of show up whenever they need to roll someone out to be a talking figurehead.
Yeah, okay,
That's the idea.
There were some other personalities that were saying this about you.
Yeah, no, they're dead on.
Yeah, okay, cool. No, but what has it been like? Because this is obviously you've been to many road shows before, but you had to work with your team of people to make this thing happen over the course of the year. This is also the big moment at the end of the season for you. So what has this been like?
It's been pretty stressful. Definitely more stressful than as talent, where you're just like, what are we going to talk about? This is fun. This is sick. Now it's like you're trying to coordinate marketing and events and planning and all this stuff. And obviously there's tons of people who are the teams leading that kind of up, but as product, you're throwing your thoughts in there, what's important, what's going to resonate. And so it's funny because back when we used to do this show, I pretty much only did Hotline League, and then I would leave FanFest, and I've never walked around very much. So I have actually a very low reference point for what other FanFests were like, because I am a recluse.
Do you have any highlights from walking around? Any booths you liked? Anything you like to see?
Yeah, I liked a couple of the ones that we were throwing on in the lower level. If people haven't checked them out, not that there's that much time left, but there's the 2XKO booths to play at. It was really fun working with that team to get that set up. We have the evolution of the LCS kind of history walkthrough thing. And then the day jobs. All three of those I played a decent hand in, at least helping coordinate on, and I think they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, the history of the LCS was really fun to walk through. So if you guys have a chance, definitely go check it out.
Have you had a coconut yet from FlyQuest?
No, I haven't actually done any of the booths. I've just looked at the lines and judged what fans seem to be resonating with.
So you're really committed to do as little as possible today.
Yeah, I almost just bailed on the show. It was hard to get me up here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it looks like we have a couple more takes that are getting written down. We'll have those in a second. But yeah, Kelby, I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to throw Mark's way.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on the year, for you, what is one of the biggest wins that you feel like you've had, and then what's something that you feel like is a goal for next year, now that you're kind of wrapping up year one?
Yeah, I think in terms of wins, we had a lot at the beginning of the year that we came in with a really aggressive number of changes with live patch and changing how we do pick ban for transition times and all these sorts of things, and then best of 3. And so I think we managed to do almost everything that we wanted to do. So I think that's a win. It felt good to actually get in there and make the changes that I was saying this is what I would do. So that was cool. I think some of the game team collaborations have been a lot of fun, like Trucker Orn and the Day Jobs reveal and those sorts of things were really cool. The teams have been great. I had nothing to do with Team Liquid being going the distance with or playing some good series against T1 and FlyQuest stepping up now. So I think it's been a pretty baller year all around.
Yeah. What is this shirt that you're wearing?
This is the event tee.
Okay. And is it signed by you?
Oh, no. So I got a special version where there was someone doing embroidering at some other.
Okay. But that is your signature.
No, it's an embroidery.
Okay. What does it say?
It's my name, but it's not my.
Okay.
I didn't sign it and then the embroidery.
Okay. Can fans get access to this?
No.
Okay. This is just
well, maybe actually. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't done any booths. Maybe there's one around.
Do you know much about what's happening at this event?
What is this? Is this LCK finals?
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Do we? I think we have some takes that we're gonna bring up on the table here.
Yeah.
We'll be able to get those in.
Is Cedric in the audience? all right.
Cedric. Cedric's coming around. Got a couple more takes coming up here. Cedric will be joining us. Here he is. Another Deadpool. Dude, have you seen all the Team Liquid jerseys? There's so many Team Liquid jerseys.
I forgot that they had that collaboration, so I saw a bunch of Deadpools, and I was
Yeah.
like, I guess it was a popular movie.
Yes.
It's like I didn't realize it resonated so much with League fans. Makes a lot more sense now.
If they're, I kind of want to know if they're all here. Maybe we could get in a line.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
numbers and have like the 1 to 300.
Oh,
That'd be sick. Yeah. Or are they limited? There's like a number on them. That's cool. That's awesome. Well, we're definitely going to be able
So
to shout it out.
mine's 184 to 300.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. Well, Cedric, where are you joining us from?
currently live in Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Another Houston person. What do you want to talk about on the show?
All right, so I know this has been a touchy subject for the America's community already, the whole merger, all that going on. This year we saw that there was only one live finals. Well, that we're at right now. Obviously, people want more, but who knows what Riot's thinking. But with the merger for summer, the Riot said that it would be Brazil versus North America for towards the end of the playoffs, which I assume would be the final. Does that mean that there will only be one live event in either North America or Brazil, so that like there's a chance that there might not even be one in North America next year?
So you guys turned me into a slug on the first one.
Yeah.
I appreciate instead of talking about the finals, 2024.
Let's talk about the finals.
Yeah.
Talk about the summer finals.
2025
2025.
plans. We're not talking too much about them right now because we don't want to distract from the finals as well as the worlds coming up. We'll start teasing stuff now that the season is ending. We'll probably tease a little bit between now and worlds to give fans something to look forward to. But then we'll have closer to the end of worlds like a lot more to say, and that's when we'll do the full reveal, the full plans, and all these sorts of questions that you have. So unfortunately, that's a punt.
Classic. No, but I mean, I guess I would kind of follow up with, what does an event like this mean for your ability to do them again in the future? Like, is this a situation where there's a lot of pressure for an event like this to get a lot of attention and a lot of people to come out and that type of stuff to be able to do it? Because I think there was what was it? There was a message that I saw somewhere where it was like, hey, we want to keep doing these again in the future, and so we'd love to see everybody really engage with it. So I guess generally speaking, is there much pressure on this event?
I don't think there's an exceptional amount of pressure to be like, if this one doesn't do well, no road shows ever. Like that's definitely not the tone at all. So don't worry about that. I think there's always a pressure to do well and put on a good show and have lots of people show up and the fans have a good experience. And because the point of these is to give fans who have been watching online for a long period of time a chance to meet up with friends, get deeper invested, bring their friends along who might not watch an online match and randomly, but they'll come to an event and be like, oh, this is actually sick. So I think this is a big opportunity for Riot to both get fans deeper invested as well as new fans brought in at a really accessible point. So there's huge value in these, and I think that that's why they're definitely going to continue.
Yeah. Are you concerned at all about Raz today being a problem for you? Do you think that there's a chance that he could be an issue on stage? He's not even listening.
No, but I mean that's true. Every day that we have Raz on stage is an issue. So
yeah.
There's nothing special about finals.
He's walking by. I don't think we're going to be able to get a shot of him because he's moving so quick.
He's saying you stink.
No, I think he said something else. He said I was really nice. Oh wow, he's so supportive of the show. That's really nice. Yeah.
If we need another 30 minutes, we know who to call.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know if there's any kind of follow up on that. Obviously, I know we can't get him to talk about it, but we tried.
Yeah, I would just I guess my thing would just be like, I really enjoy these events. My first event was the finals in Houston. The Danny Pentakill, like that was like, I've been to other like traditional sporting events, and that like quarter filled NFL stadium was the most hype event I've ever been to. Then was lucky enough to be able to go to semifinals in Atlanta. I went to Raleigh, like these, and been able to bring friends that don't watch ULCS or maybe just play League, and like started roping them in, all that type of thing. And it's been really good been a good way to be able to get people to feel the like energy behind the whole thing that sometimes you don't feel through the monitor or the TV screen. But so I just hope that we have that access to that next year. But I understand that Mark can't speak to things in the future like
yeah,
that.
but what you're talking about is exactly what I was talking about. Like that moment is what these are all for. And if you haven't checked out the history booth yet or the evolution of the LCS, check it out because there's that moment is definitely memorialized.
Yeah, it's really cool in there.
Emphasis on memorialized. Is the LCS? Is it the LCS memorial? I think is what you're suggesting. Okay. Anyway, anything that you want to shout out?
Shout out my wife who's in the audience. My friend Henry's in the audience. My friend is online who are watching. Trenton and Vic and just anybody else. Shout out to Kia, to NZXT, to Prize Picks, and just shout out to the guys sitting here and for this awesome event we have going on. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah,
enjoy the games.
All right. So we have a Will in the audience.
Will, come on up. Thanks everybody again for coming out. Really excited to have you all here.
More TL gear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It's all Team Liquid gear all the way down.
Oh yeah.
Will, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I'm sorry about the heat.
What is
well,
your
actually this is kind of not that bad. Our heats are all extremely just humid. I can deal with this. If it's 90 but it's humid back there, I can't stand it at all.
What is this hat?
You can make hats over at the MasterCard booth over there, and you can get, I guess yesterday they said they don't do it today, but you could get your tag on it, so it should say Dawn. That's my name in League.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Okay, so there's even more stuff going on. Mark, I'm teaching about FanFest while you're on the show. All right.
I didn't know about that one.
What do you?
Yeah. So my question was to you, Mark. Again, you talked about a little bit already of all the things that you were excited about that actually went through this year. The thing I'm curious about is, was there anything that you wanted to change or some idea that maybe even you had that didn't get through yet, or maybe just was not approved or shot down as an idea that people didn't want to try?
We finally got subs on the channel.
Yeah, I got there at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the ones that I had at the start of the year that took a little bit longer to get there, but we got there. I don't know if there's anything that I have to check my deck at the start of the year to see if I got through everything.
Yeah.
I think mostly yes. I think we've talked a lot about the breaks probably being one of the things that was not on my deck that I would put in next year's to be like, let's not have to deal with these anymore. And it's pretty high priority for us to minimize those even more. They were a necessary evil this year for a number of reasons that we've talked about. But I think that would be one of the things for next year to make sure that we hone in on. And I think there were a lot of things that I've learned that I will do better next year on a personal level. And the LCS can do a better job on, but I don't think there was anything that I had coming in that we didn't really get to.
What if you had to name one thing that you are proud of or happy with this year that you guys were able to accomplish? What would that be?
I mean, kind of similar to what Cubby asked. I don't know. I think the live patch one was pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why I bring it back up again is because I do think it is cool to hear that you were like, I feel like I accomplished everything I wanted to this year, or at least in terms of your goals, because I think coming in at a time that the time that you did, you have had a lot of like headwinds with all sorts of news coming out from Riot that are affecting the company across the board, big issues that are happening in esports across the board and all that stuff. And so just hearing that you were able to accomplish a lot of what you wanted to do, I think is really awesome. And I think deserves a bit of a round of applause for Mark. As much grief as I give him for accomplishing so much in his first year.
Yeah.
Wow. Applause to or booze to applause.
I know, but
Wow.
legitimately, for me, it was fun because around this time last year, Mark and I were going on walks, and he would talk a lot about, like, oh, is this going to happen? Is it not? He'd been having conversations with Riot for a little bit, and I think you were trying to figure out what the result was going to be. And during that time, there was a lot of times where Mark would be like, I'd really like to do this. I'd love to bring subs to the channel, or I don't know. Eventually, I don't know if you told me this or if I just found it out eventually, but like the live patch stuff, which I think at its time was considered to be such a crazy idea nobody had really done before, and you just pushed the envelope and you were able to make it happen. So I think it really is impressive to see just how different the LCS is in less than a year. So
Yeah, well, get ready for next year. We got more crazy stuff cooked up. More formats, more cool stuff.
yeah, no, I think it's gonna be cool to see what else you can do. But I don't know if you had any kind of follow-ups or anything that you wanted to add here.
No, I gotta say, I think my biggest change that I like the most is how fast the games happen in between each other. That makes it so much easier to watch. I gotta think all the other leagues are striving to do the exact same thing now.
Yeah, and I think on that point, to shout out the pro players in North America as well in the LCS for being willing to try things, because I think pro players can be pretty stuck in their ways sometimes, and anything that's different or slightly uncomfortable, they don't want to do. So the fact that we could throw live patch at them and how we draft differently and format changes and all the things that we keep throwing at them, and they kind of roll with it, I think the pro players deserve a huge shout out as well, and the team side.
Yeah. No, it's been a great year. I think a lot of people have come together to really try to pitch in for the LCS. So yeah. Anything you want to shout out here at the end?
I think I'll shout out. It's a throwback, but Kyle Perkoski, my freshman year in college, got me in a league, so that was a big shout out there. I'll shout out Brendan here in the front row with me. He's come to a couple events with me too, and then I'll shout out my wife who's watching our dogs back at home for me, so I can come here.
That's awesome.
And then also, obviously, the sponsors.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Enjoy the games.
I like how you shouted out the NA pros because the EU pros complain when they changed it on them. So
I don't know. Maybe some other regions tried
Yeah.
what we did, and they didn't. Their pros had stronger opinions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think the NA pros really came down. I thought they would complain a lot more, but I know they were really excited about a lot of these changes too.
And,
so
and even team side, like we've heard in the past when you and I were more on the outside about some of the tensions between Riot and teams that I didn't really feel much this year that I probably was gearing up for. So
yeah, I mean that's for me that was a big thing where during our walks I was like, I don't know, Mark, if you're gonna like, there's so much inertia, in these for a long time where teams didn't want to do stuff. People inside Riot were like, well, that's not how this is done, and so it is really impressive that people were able to come around on a lot of things. So. Do you want to go ahead and pull our next person?
Yeah, we got Sean Shannon.
He has a couple questions. Sean wants to come on the show. I know a couple of these that I'm looking at. Mark will definitely dodge, but I don't mind you asking them.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
It's fun to watch him
we
squirm.
can go rapid fire.
Yeah,
I was going,
exactly.
nope.
Sean, where are you joining us from?
The couch? No, Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York.
Yep.
What do you want to talk about on the show?
So obviously we're gonna be losing some teams next year. What would you say are some of the most important teams to keep for the future of the LCS success?
I love all of our teams equally. They're all important members of the LCS ecosystem.
For now.
Okay. Well, that was number one. So that was. Thank you, Kelby, for that one.
Oh, Kelby seeded that in. Thank you, Kelby.
On a scale of 1 to 10, though, going to Worlds, what is your level of confidence for the teams coming in? Because I think in previous years, especially, as my favorite ex-co-host of this, talk show, sorry, Cubby, that
he's not an ex-co-host yet. He could definitely
Yet.
be your favorite.
Yes. Whoa, Travis.
Oh, shit.
Travis.
We still have 15
Travis
more
is
minutes.
cutting Cubby.
We
just
still have
like
15 more minutes for him to mess up. No
Oh,
problem.
I thought you said I have 15 more minutes.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
You got 15 minutes of fame left, Cubby.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, so yeah, level 1 to 10, your level of excitedness or like hopefulness that like this may be what we've been talking about before, potential best year for NA.
I would go about 8. I think I there's been like 2016 TSM. I'm trying to think of other years where you had like a really good domestic showing and some confidence going in, and I think those had maybe more dominance. I know everyone talks about TL undefeated, and there's that's true, but I think like in terms of gameplay and watching, like 2020 C9 who never went in spring, 2016 TSM, some of these teams I think have been more dominant and made you feel like you had that confidence. But at least Team Liquid, both at EWC and MSI, took T1 to close games. They looked really competent, and so I have a lot of confidence in them. The fact that FlyQuest pushed them pretty well is making me feel better about FlyQuest, despite some of the rougher showings that they had at those events. In 100 Thieves versus R7, like, all right, let's see how that goes.
They got the best draw they can.
Yeah, they'll get a lot of experience.
Well, for the first 2 rounds, because they dodged PSG and MDK. So
yeah, so they get if they win, they get GAM most likely.
Yeah,
and
that's the best draw.
Yeah. So either way, I think that is to say you never know, because Swiss stage now, you don't know the groups ahead of time, so it's hard to predict who Team Liquid's going to match up against. But I think around half the pool they should be favored. I think depending on what you think of T1 losing last night as well, what that meant for.
Yeah.
Spoiler, I guess. My bad.
I will say, like, I've always said that 2014 is the best year for NA at Worlds. This is probably the most hope I've had since then, like at
That's
10
fun.
years, unironically.
Yeah. 2016, you didn't get on board the TSM train?
No.
I will say as well, like it's an 8 because it doesn't go higher than 8. You said 8, like 1 through 10, but 9 and 10 don't exist on my
Well,
scale.
we used to have 9 and 10. You know.
Yeah, we used to have 9 and 10. That
Yeah.
that fell off the. If
Yeah.
we like, if we make quarters or semis again, and then like then maybe 9 and 10 end up back on the scale in the future. But for now, there's no.
I think he was making a joke about how there were 10 teams.
Yeah.
Right over my head.
Yeah. And then lastly, because this is just one that's like important to me, I've really loved the rebranding that LCS has done over the course of the years and like the logo that we have now. And I don't, in any form or fashion, if you can speak on it, are we gonna be rebranding from LCS, or are we gonna keep it within like an America system or something like that? Because I personally love it. I don't know how the fans feel, but like the logo and our theme song that like reminds me of like Saturday Night Football and stuff like that, it makes me like feel like we have something that's ours now, and I don't want to see that change again.
I hear where you're coming from. Much like the answer about road shows in 2025, all things 2025 are basically under wraps for now.
It would be very unfortunate if there was merch with logos being sold at this event that would no longer be applicable next year, I guess is what I would say.
There's 2 teams that are thinking the same thing right now. So
yeah.
There's I shouldn't say that.
No, whatever you're gonna say.
No, it wasn't even Riot related. It was another game company about something that might have come out and already went away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Mark, kind of going back to the other topic though, for you as the commissioner, how is there a lot of pressure at all for how the LCS teams perform at Worlds?
No.
Like on you?
On me?
Yeah.
No. I'm not a coach anymore. I think so. Here's what I can say about this. I did an interview with Mahir yesterday, and we talked about.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we talked about games on stage and these sorts of things. And I think sometimes that gets wrapped up with like competitive performance. And what I said in that interview was like, I really think what you do in the 6 days before you play a match is way more important than like the one day you played for 2 hours on stage. And I think it's pretty cope from teams and players to think that the stage days matter more. I think that just shows a lack of understanding of coaching and practice and these sorts of things. I think Team Liquid has proved that this year because they have not played significantly more games on stage and they've been one of the best representatives we've ever had. So like I think those things aren't correlated. The times we've changed the formats and given more games on stage, it hasn't made the teams better. I think that stuff's pretty cope. So
it's more like a personal desire to see them do well.
Yeah, it's a personal desire. It's not like, oh, they didn't do well enough. We got to do something else in the future. I think for me, formats and that kind of stuff, there's a balance between competition and what keeps fans engaged. And I think that's the more important one is like, what are fans enjoying?
Yeah. Sean, anything else here at the end?
Just want to say that FanFest has been fantastic. This has been probably the best FanFest that I've been to since Houston, which didn't really it was all inside, so it was no heat. But this is fantastic. I appreciate it. Thank you to Kia, Prize Picks, NZXT, all you guys out there, and really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. All right, we have a couple more minutes here before the show wraps, and I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit with you, Mark, because I think we don't have as many takes that are relevant for this. So, one, I assume you're hoping for 5 games today?
Yep. Number go up, good. Longer day, good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what is it like for you to see all of the work that your team has put in? Because obviously, I know you like to talk not just about your success as an individual this year and all that stuff, but also just about the teams this year. And so I don't know if there's any of them that you want to shout out or anything that you think is particularly cool. I guess if you shout out one, the others get scorned, so I'm not sure. But
I'm okay with
scoring
I'll
people.
try and remember everything, but if I mess up and someone goes, hey, I'll be like, my bad. No, I think it's a good call because I've been talking about the teams, the players, stuff like that. But I think the LCS team, meaning engineers, comp ops, broadcast, all these people who, when you make a change, like we're going to pre-record drafts, it's like, okay, we have to redo our entire back end and like, where are we going to put players and how are you going to do all this? Like, and the LCS team, the actual people working on this stuff made it happen in very short time frames. And they've been incredible. And like you said, it's been a pretty crazy year, lots of ups and downs, lots of things that have affected from outside the season. And so I think the LCS team has been so good about just doing things on short notice, short time. It's one of the things when I said learnings from this year, the best one I can do is give people more heads up and work better and have better documentation and all these sorts of things that would help people. But they've rolled with the punches every single step of the way. and for this event in particular, shout out like the load-in times, how quickly the events team had to set everything up, the FanFest engineers getting everything figured out, the production side of all of that. Like if you haven't been inside the venue yet, for people who didn't come yesterday, like it's a 6-stage, and so I think it's gonna be a really good show.
I don't know if you have anything you want to throw out there, Cubby.
No,
Yeah.
I'm actually. I'm
Well,
kinda
I just wanted to say also, you know, I know you can't talk too much about what is happening next year, but how much work is the team doing right now for the stuff that's happening next year, right? Because it's got to be a strange thing where you're both building out this show, trying to make sure finals is great, all this stuff, but then also having to figure out how to take on like massive challenges for next year.
Oh yeah,
and massive changes.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It is truly. So like comp ops and us have been beating up formats forever while also doing this stuff, and then the production teams are having to figure out broadcast schedules and cadence and all these sorts of things, and Spanish coverage and whatnot for the North Conference, for example, like these sorts of logistical things, while also still running leagues in the current year. So it's been tough. I think a lot of us are looking forward to a good finals, and then being able to refocus either onto 2025 or getting a break if they're able to.
And then kind of finally here at just a couple questions around what this year has been like for you personally, because I know this is maybe not a topic that makes sense for like an interview that you're doing with another outlet or something, but this is Hotline League, this show that you helped me create, and that a lot of the audience have gotten to know you over the time. They've learned your opinions on obscure movies and video games and all that type of stuff. So just in general, what has this experience been like for you as a person in the last, I don't know, 9 months or so?
It's been really good. I've enjoyed it. I've like I said before, got a lot done and felt challenged along the way and learned a lot of new stuff. On the personal level, yeah, it was very stressful the last 2 months. I think I told you I was between planning 2025, finishing 2024, and then Ashley and I are getting married, so I had to plan the wedding and the honeymoon, which is going to be in October. So the last 2 months have just been nightmare fuel of just every day there's something I need to be doing somewhere. And I'm looking forward to at least finishing 2024.
Between summer finals, wedding, and honeymoon, which has been hardest to plan?
They've changed over time.
Okay.
I'll say 2025, getting the big picture stuff in place, and there's a lot of legal and financials you need to check to make sure that like this actually works and all these things. That was a pretty hefty amount of work a couple months ago. It's sort of simmered down. There's still a lot going on, but then finals reared its head in the last two and a half weeks, a little bit more.
What stage of Worlds are you going to for your honeymoon?
None of them.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I'll be at finals, I think, but
he's not married to the game.
I'm married to the LCS and North American League of Legends esports.
Great answer.
And maybe they'll be at Worlds finals, but I don't know.
All right, last thing that we'll close out on this. Mark, what you been watching? What you been playing lately?
Played the hell out of the Elden Ring DLC. That was dope. I really enjoyed Cuckoo. There's something else that came out that I can't remember right now from a movie.
What is Huku?
It's a movie.
Oh no, I'm not familiar.
No, I didn't play Black Myth Wukong. I'm looking forward to Space Marine 2 after this. God, what movies have come out recently other than Deadpool and Wolverine? Because I swear
I
there's
feel like you haven't watched much.
I watched a ton.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is the problem, is I watched 20 things and I can't remember any of them.
All right. Well, we tried. Thank you so much.
I did see Alien. Alien was good. Second half was much better than the first half.
Anybody who doesn't normally watch the show or didn't watch it when you were on is very confused by what's happening.
Why
They're like, what's happening with the show?
Why
now?
are we talking about movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything that you want to say to anybody?
No, just shout outs to all the fans for coming out and watching this year. It's been a really good year. I think we'll probably have some retro-y type stuff in a couple weeks, the same way that we did for spring, to talk about some best of threes, viewership, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, thanks to everyone for watching.
Yeah. Cubby, any shout outs?
I mean, thanks, Mark. Thanks to everyone that came on, and thanks for everyone tuning in to Hotline League. That was distracting.
Some big cheers for Hotline League.
Yeah, looks like T1. No, I mean, thanks for everyone that tunes in, supports me. Hoping for a really good final today. and also a good final tomorrow. Which
I was about
I'm,
to say, shout out tier 2. I bumped into
Yeah.
the Starforge Fear guys.
Yeah, they're here. Dragonsteel's here. So really cool that they got access to the venue. Shout out to Riot for that. But no, I feel really grateful to be a part of this, and it's been a really fun year, and looking forward to more shows.
Yeah. For me, shouting out here at the end, obviously Kia for making this all happen. We had the Kia stage here.
Thank you, Kia.
2025 K4 is over there. They've been awesome. Make sure you check out the Kia booths over here on the side, the teams that are attached to it. It's been really awesome to see. Thank you all for coming out, and thank you for the people that tuned in live. It is such a pleasure. My favorite Hotline Leagues are always the ones where we get to do them live because it's so cool to meet people in person, have them come up on stage instead of calling into Discord with usually a pretty shitty microphone. And yeah, it's just been fantastic. I really hope we have great games today. I'm sure we will. Maybe we'll see the 5-game series everybody's hoping for. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. This has been Hotline League. We'll see you Monday.